supposed to do this. We're glad you're here. Let's get started. You'll call the roll, please.
Chairman Latour,
Here.
Vice Chairman Stebbins, Commissioner Berry.
Here.
Commissioner Brock.
Here.
Commissioner Bynum.
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Hart. Commissioner Haynes.
Here.
Commissioner Rahman. Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
And Commissioner Vogel. Here. We have a quorum, sir.
You have your microphone on?
I do, but now I have it more closer to my face.
Good. I just wanted to be sure that they recorded you back there. Okay, we have a quorum. You've seen the minutes. The motion for approval would be in order. Scott?
I move for approval of the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Minutes are approved. Would you take us through the consent agenda, please?
The consent agenda for the October 10, 2019 Little Rock Planning Commission is as follows. On the consent withdrawal.
Pardon me, we have one other a card on item 1.
Thank you, sir.
Needs to come off. Thank you. I apologize.
Consent withdrawal, item A, file S-1851, Redgate Business Center, preliminary plat located south of Interstate 30 and east of Alexander Road. A request to withdraw this item without prejudice was received by staff on September 18, 2019. The applicant is reconsidering the options for the property. Staff recommends approval of the withdrawal request. Item 11, file Z-9456, the Demond Car Wash revised short form PCD located at 300 Broadway Street. A required affidavit signed by the property owner designating an agent authorized to file a zoning application and to act on behalf of the owner in the matter was not submitted with the application. Therefore, the application is considered administratively withdrawn. A new application with all requirements must be filed for this item to be considered at a future Planning Commission public hearing. The consent deferral items are as follows. Item 3, file number S-1859, Quick Trip Site Plan Review located southwest of the intersection of Bass Pro Parkway and Otter Creek Road. The applicant did not provide revisions or responses to the subdivision committee comments by September 25th, 2019. Staff recommends deferral of this item to the November 21st, 2019 meeting. Item number 8, file Z-7667-A, the Highway 10 Business Park revised short form PCD located at 14410 Cantrell Road. Staff received a request from the applicant on September 24th, 2019 to defer this item to November 21st, 2019. Staff recommends approval of the deferral request. Item 10, file Z-9207-A, the Lawson Road Mini Storage revised short form PDC located east of 13008 Lawson Road. The applicant did not provide revisions or responses to the subdivision committee comments by September 25th, 2019. Staff recommends deferral of this item to the November 21st, 2019 meeting. The consent approval items, item B, file Z-2110-A, Dental Care Associates, short form POD, located at 4700 West Markham Street. Staff recommends approval of the request to rezone the property to POD, subject to compliance with comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F, and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Item 2, file S-1860, Pinnacle Subdivision Preliminary Plat located north of Hood Road and east of Highway 10. Staff recommends approval of the proposed preliminary plat and variances subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Staff also recommends waiving the boundary street improvements for Hood Road. Item 4, file Z-9455, Patrick Murray, zoning site plan review located at 2 Remington Cove. Staff recommends approval of the site plan subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F of the agenda staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the variance to reduce the rear setback from 100 feet to 40 feet. Staff recommends the dumpster screening requirement to be waived, provided an acceptable opaque material is used for the access gate to the laydown yard. Staff recommends approval of the variance for the use of gravel in lieu of asphalt in the laydown yard with the 6-foot perimeter of gravel to pave system as shown on the revised plan. Staff recommends approval of the variance allowing the vehicle area screening as shown on the revised plan. Item 5, file Z-5803-C, Parker Audi revised short form PCD located at 12601 Chenal Parkway. Staff recommends approval of the PCD subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Item number 6, file number Z-6019-F, Chenal Valley Tract 13 revised long form PCD located southwest of the intersection of Chenal Parkway and St. Vincent Way. Staff recommends approval of the PCD subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the variance to allow advanced site grading of the entire site with the issuance of a grading permit for Lot B-1A. Staff recommends approval of the variance to allow parked vehicles to back into the service easement on Lot B-1A. Staff recommends approval of the variance to construct sidewalks as proposed as an alternative to providing sidewalks on both sides of the service easements. Item 7, file Z-6323-AA, The Village at Rawling Road, Lot 4, revised long form PCD located at the southeast corner of Chenal Parkway and Rawling Road. Staff recommends approval of the PCD subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. Staff also recommends approval of the variance to allow the driveways to Rawling Circle as proposed. Staff recommends approval of the variance to allow parked vehicles to back into the service easement. Staff recommends approval of the variance to allow a sidewalk to be constructed only on the north side of the service easement. Item 9, file Z-9150-B, East Village revised short form PCD located at 1319 East 6th Street. Staff recommends approval of the PCD subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F and the staff analysis in the agenda staff report. And item 12, the adoption of the 2020 Planning Commission calendar.
You've heard the agenda, you've heard the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the consent agenda with all staff comments and recommendations.
Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of consent agenda, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Thank you. If your item was called, you're free to go. Thank you for coming. There are 2 items on the regular agenda, the one on Nix Road, which I think is C, and the one on Crystal Valley Lateral. So those are the 2 that will go on regular agenda. With that, if you'd please read the Nix Road, item C.
Item C, file Z-9445, the Nix Road Patio Villa short form PRD at 1015 Nix Road. Rodney Chandler of Icon Homes is the developer. This is currently a site of about a half acre on Nix Road that is currently zoned R2. They are seeking to develop 3 duplex dwelling units for 6 total dwelling units on the property. These would be patio homes, as they're described, 2 units per structure. Each home would have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Would it be masonry on at least 3 of the sides and board siding smartboard siding in the gable area. The setbacks would be 25 feet on the front, 25 feet in the rear, and 6 feet on the side. Each unit would have a 1 or a 2-car garage and would be between 1,250 to 1,500 square feet in area. There was some revisions that were made. The middle duplex that you would see on that plan actually would have the side yards would be 0 feet. Those would be the interior, the most interior of the lots of the buildings in there. Also, the applicant has made a request to not dedicate additional right-of-way for Pelez Avenue, which is to the north of this proposed development, as it's unlikely to ever be opened for traffic. The applicant is willing, however, to dedicate the 20-foot radial dedication for Pelez Avenue. You also would notice on that plan there are back-out areas shown for the 3 southern lots due to some concerns about site distance and having vehicles backing out onto Nix Road. Public Works staff and also the planning staff are supportive of those changes. Wrapping up, the staff recommends approval of the zoning change to PRD, subject to compliance with comments and conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F, and the staff analysis in the staff report.
Okay. I have one card, Mr. Dale Smith. First is the applicant here. The way this normally works is the applicant, each side has 20 minutes. I don't think you're going to need 20 each, but each side has 20 minutes. The applicant has the prerogative. You can go first, or you can wait and see what he wants to say, or any combination thereof. What's your pleasure?
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to come before you tonight. I'll be real brief. Last time we were here, we had an error in the address. We corrected that, did another register mail out with a 200-foot radius. We invited all the applicants, all the residents for a meeting at one of our model homes. No one showed up, so we could explain and to diffuse any misperceptions. So I want you to know that we made an honest effort to make sure we're very clear with the vision, the proposal, and create an understanding. So with that being said, I'm going to defer. Thank you.
Very good, Mr. Smith.
Yes, my name's Dale Smith, and this area's been single-family homes for years. And basically, I have a piece of property that's south of the property he's proposing to build multiple residencies, homes, and the property value I'm looking at between my property coming up from Nix Road going commercial, and then being sandwiched between that, instead of single-family home residencies around me having multiple family structures, I just think my property value is going to go straight down. And I would like to rebuild on this property one day. So thank you.
Good. Would you care to have rebuttal?
Real briefly, certainly as a businessman and a developer, I understand the value of property, and that's why what we're going to propose to build is quality in nature as well as value. We certainly are very sensitive to what's around us, and the reality is what's there are 2 older houses that are probably 40 years of age that are in disrepair and that are vacant, and I think that creates a further disservice to the community and the neighborhood as opposed to new construction homes that are upscale in design and quality that will target a pent-up demand of those individuals who are empty nesters, professional couples, and individuals who desire a one-level dwelling without having the ownership, who are willing to pay $1,500 a month on the lease side, as well as $155 a square foot on a sales side. So those factors, we believe, are representative of what Little Rock needs in order to continue to be a progressive city. So I would ask for your support based on staff recommendation and approval to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for either side? Okay, there'll be a motion, please, sir.
I move for the approval of item C, including all staff comments and recommendations.
There's a motion, there's a second.
I'll second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Last chance. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Those opposed? Vote. It's approved. The other item is item 1. Pardon me. Item 1, did this turn out to be, Madam Attorney, did this turn out to be a Richardson case? Not having anything to do with the gentleman's name, but
Not to my knowledge, sir, but I confess I have not read the documentation in depth. I gave it a skim this morning.
There's not been any additional information provided us to confirm compliance with the conditions as outlined, so no, it is not a Richardson
very good.
plat case.
Okay. The next item is the applicant here at 8311 Crystal Valley.
I'm 8311.
You the applicant?
I am not the applicant.
Well, you'll get a shot in just a second. Are you the applicant? Same thing you had before. Each side has 20 minutes if you need it. You can talk first, or you can let them talk.
I can defer.
Huh?
I'll defer.
Okay. Now, come on up. Cynthia Smith.
My name is Cynthia Smith, and thank you for hearing me this evening. I would like to see the sketch or the plan. We have I don't know if it's a unique situation, but my property is sitting directly in theirs. It is the exact, I've been paying taxes on this for 32 years, and it is, the dimensions is exactly what I was given and where I was told to move. So in that picture there, I'm not sure if those lines are still considered what it says on the paper, that they are sewage. And I have a well sitting to the east side of my house, and my septic system is sitting to the west side of it. I don't have a problem at all with them building. I just don't want my well to be interfered with and or compromised. I do drink that water. As a matter of fact, her dad told me I have the best water out there. So, but I do drink that water and bathe in it and use it, for dishes and laundry and what have you. So, that's my concern, is that, if this plat has been changed or if it stands as is. If it does, if you see, it comes directly across my whole yard. And like I say, that's where I was told. I have talked with with the surveyor, and I have asked him to come back out and take a look at this because some kind of way there's been a mistake. He has promised me that he was coming 3 different times to do this, and he has not. So if it's going to stand like this, I would at least like the opportunity to seek counsel.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And staff, I know I erred. We'll read it in. We'll read it. We'll do it backwards. We'll read it in. I apologize. Come on.
Good evening. I'm Erica Richardson, and I do want to build a single-family home on the acre of land listed there. I have consulted with the engineer. He did assure me that Mrs. Smith's well would not be interfered with, but I do not think that I should be held responsible for a possible mistake made by a previous surveyor. I have had the land surveyed 2 times and have spent quite a bit of money trying to get to this point. I believe that the building of my home will increase the value of the property in the area, and I do want to be sympathetic to Ms. Smith. However, I don't think I should bear the burden of responsibility for an error that may have been made by her surveyor.
Okay. Okay, with that, the commissioners may have a question, but let's hold it. I erred and did not read it into the record first, so if you'll read the record, you'll be good to go.
This is item 1 on the agenda this evening, file S-1858, the Richardson Edition preliminary plat located east of Crystal Valley Lateral and north of Lacey Road generally. Ms. Erica Richardson is the owner of the property. The entire parcel is approximately 10.89 acres. This plat would create 2 lots, one which would be the 1-acre site, which would be Ms. Richardson's home. The remainder would then be platted as a separate tract. There is also an easement, as you can see on the property, which would be encumbered for the location somewhere in that area of the septic system. Property is zoned R2, which does allow for single-family residential. Also, with the request with this plat, there would be dedication of additional right-of-way for Crystal Valley Lateral for future improvements on that. At this point in time, we are also supportive of a waiver to not require any improvements, boundary street improvements for that, for Crystal Valley Lateral. Yes, we also would agree, mention that what Ms. Smith has also brought forward, her concern about that she reached out to us as staff with the concern for her well and the location of that septic system. That happens, the location of that and the approval of the permitting for septic systems falls to the Arkansas Department of Health. So they will be working with them to make sure that system is properly located as well. Lastly, there's a portion of the property that would be on tract 2, which is within the 100-year floodplain, requiring that to show up as the minimum finished floor elevation at least 1 foot above the base flood. However, Ms. Richardson's tract, the 1-acre tract where she's looking to place her home, is not within that floodplain. We also had some staff discussion about the discrepancy between the deeds, which we noted in our staff report on there, that the surveyor did put it on the preliminary plat here. It is proper to include it on this plat. However, it would be a legal matter for a judge to resolve and not under the purview of either our subdivision ordinance or the planning commission with that. So all other technical comments and issues appear to have been addressed, except for the issues that were mentioned above, which would again include making sure that clearly designating that the right-of-way would not, the proposed additional right-of-way for Crystal Valley Road would not have be encumbered as easement for the septic system, is putting the finished floor elevation on tract 2. Those conditions still remain to be addressed. Staff does recommend approval of the preliminary plat and the variances subject to compliance with the comments conditions outlined in paragraphs D, E, and F in the staff analysis in the agenda staff report, and also recommends approving, waiving the requirement for any improvements to Crystal Valley Lateral Road.
Okay, commissioners, any questions? Ms.
I have
Thomas?
a question. This is for staff. Just for clarification of what the matter that's before us that you're asking us to decide on. This is a variance that the applicant is asking for, and I'm a little bit confused. If we have a little bit of an issue on ownership and survey and boundaries, then can an application be before us on property that is not clear who is owner of deed?
Yeah, I think as far as the deed work is concerned, the owner is clear. There are no clouds on the title, ma'am. My understanding is there's a property boundary dispute, which, as staff said, that is a matter for the judge to decide. There are 4 lots at issue here, is that correct?
It would seem that there would be 4 separate deed parcels based upon what the surveyor has worked out.
And forgive me because with 4 lots, I've kind of lost the thread. But is the property that the applicant is going to build a house on, is that one of the lots that is disputed?
No, it is not. The area that that Ms. Richardson is seeking to build her house does not lie within the area that is the overlap. Does not lie within the overlap.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
Okay.
In that case, it would be proper for this committee to decide whether or not to approve the application.
Other questions? Motion, please.
I move for the approval of item number 1 with all staff comments and conditions.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Those opposed? Motion passes. Citizen communication. Would there be any? Ms. Bell, you're quiet. Hearing none, we are adjourned.